Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
Uncover the ideal keywords for your website content, Google Ads, campaigns, and more. I know as a coach or consultant, your goal is to help your clients solve their problems and also help them have a happier existence. But how are you going to be able to do that if they can't find you? And how are they going to be able to solve those problems of their own if they don't even know your solutions exist? This is why you need to know how to choose the right keywords for your target market so that you can create for and relate to the audience you're going to be demanding money off of. Now, if you're just joining us, this is the Online Prosperity Experience, where if you're passionate about doing the work that you're really meant to be doing and living an inspired life while you're doing that, you're in the right place, my friend. People that listen to this podcast are called Internet Explorers, where I take you on a journey into cyberspace. And my mission, should you choose to allow me and accept your part of the mission, is to help inspired coaches, consultants, and small to medium businesses like yourself build a brand that you're proud of and create a lifestyle that you love. And one of the things that I live and breathe is search engine optimization, not the kind that bends your brain into a pretzel, but I've decided I'm going to define SEO as search engine optimization. No, I've decided to call it simply educating others or simply enabling others. Okay, so as a coach or consultant, you're supposed to be finding the right kind of people with the right kind of pain that you can enable to have a happier existence, or you can educate them to want more, be more, and have more. But in order for that to happen, you definitely have to utilize search engines that are in the name of Google and Bing, and the currency of search engines so happens to be keywords. I know you don't like hearing all this stuff. You probably have 500 emails in your inbox right now that are telling you about keywords, SEO, and all that black hat, white hat. You don't even know what hat you should be wearing. Well, I'm going to be offering you in this podcast a free keyword tool that we have engineered here at Live Long Digital. Yay! We call it a Live Long Keyword Explorer. Very, very thoughtful. Yeah, we went far and wide looking for a name for that tool, but it is a free keyword tool that helps you uncover ideal keywords for your website content, podcasts like this, Google Ads and campaigns, and a lot more. I'll let you in on a secret. All right, so every time I jump onto this podcast, it is inspired either by real life customer that I'm snitching on who might have, done a funny in our meetings, or somebody who would have just given us fodder for content. Or sometimes I just jump onto our keyword finder just to find out what people are asking Google to deliver to them, and then I will then create content around that. Guess what that does? Google now looks at me as a content producer that actually saves their face, and I'll be telling you exactly how you can actually be on Google's good side so that you can literally win the internet one keyword at a time. So at the end of the day, once you've got the best keywords for your website, you'll be able to drive more traffic and maximize search results. Okay, so when people come to the internet, they're looking for information, and if your website is the one that's providing that information, guess what happens? They get to know you, like you, and trust you. And we all know that people do business with those they know, like, and trust. But guess what happened many moons ago, before we even woke up to think the internet will be what it is today? Google lied to us. Yep, I said it. I don't think this is the first time I've said it on my official podcast, but Google lied. They pulled a fib on us. Okay, so the lie is very elaborate, so much that you won't even notice it until I've actually told you. This is the reason why you need to subscribe to the Online Prosperity Experience. That way, you're not going to miss out all the lies and the deceits that the internet has brought to you, powered by the engine of search, the search engine. That's what we're calling it today. So pretty much, if you want to drive more traffic and maximize, your search engine results, we've created what's called the Live Long Keyword Explorer. You could look it up. It's a free keyword tool for any business or any coach or consultant that's looking to drive more traffic and maximize their search engine results. So this free tool makes it fast and easy for you to find valuable keyword data for your website, your Google ad campaigns, and more, with accurate, up-to-date keyword volume and cost per click data. Well, I couldn't help myself. I'm a marketer. I had to throw in an ad in between the words. You know what? I've got your attention. So let me tell you the lie that Google told us. Okay, it's worth waiting for, and if you haven't actually started looking out for that keyword tool, be sure to check it out after you've heard what the lie was. You ready? So Google lied to every person that owns a smartphone, a laptop, and a computer that they are the ones that actually provide the information that you get on the internet. What? You don't get it from Google? Absolutely. So Google is just a place where you go to on the way to go to certain websites so you can get information maybe about your health, your wealth, or relationships. We already know that. Google in and of itself is not the internet, all right? But they made it look like they're the internet gatekeeper, and everyone started worshiping the gods, higher ups they might be. But the whole lie was, predicated on the fact that if you type in Google looking for any sort of keyword, somebody at Google itself is going to be frantically looking for the right website to give you all the information that you're looking for. But that is not the case. If you have the right keywords, you actually start attracting your target market, and it's crucial that you can actually make it easy for your potential clients to find you. They just so happen to have the systems and the tools and the algorithm that makes it happen for you to have that information at your fingertips, so to speak. All right. So that being the case, all right, so now we need to also make sure that we are making Google look good, because, they are the sort of gatekeeper of the internet. And if they don't provide the right information, guess what? People will just duck and go, or maybe Bing around somewhere, where they can find all that information. So you, as a coach or consultant, you want to make sure, even if you hate it, even if you think it doesn't work, your customers' first port of call when they're looking and searching for this information is to go to Google. So you might as well, be in Google's best books, and so that people can actually find you when they are searching for you. So if you want to know how people are doing that, just enter a keyword or website on the URL that has our free keyword tool, and you get precisely what you need to target your audience and get the best results for your search engine campaigns. We've made that easy for you. But the whole thrust of why we are here today is so that we can, let you know how to actually choose the right keywords for your target market. All right. So finding the right keywords is more or less like actually finding your coaching or consulting niche. All right. I know it's a common question that has been uttered by new coaches. And after all, you know that you need to have a specific niche, you need to have a target audience. Otherwise, how are you going to know what you want your target market to ask you to do for them? All right, but you can't, sometimes maybe you can't seem to settle on one. That happens. We have all these ideas, we have all these ingredients to cook up this whole cake, but we need to show people what the cake is, and then they can then make a decision to find out whether they want the ingredients in that cake or not. All right, so besides, you want to be able to serve everyone as a coach, and you don't want to exclude any potential clients or opportunities. But the thing is, if you serve everyone, you serve nobody. All right, and when you actually get clear and commit on a niche, the universe actually responds in kind. You would understand this if you are a high level coach. You start attracting your dream clients more easily and naturally, and your business seems to flow a little bit more seamlessly. Why? Because you have chosen the right keywords, you're saying the right words, and you are actually speaking to your audience without spraying and praying with your marketing. All right. And how do you do that? You do that by choosing the right keywords so you can start the search journey that your customers have on the way to whatever it is that you're promising them. Okay, so let's get started with the content of today. Geez, we've already done adverts. We've already spoken about target markets and everything else, and still we haven't even started. Today must be a juicy episode. That's the reason why you need to subscribe to this podcast. While I have fun, you get to learn. It's a win-win-win-win-win-win-win situation. All right, so choosing the right keywords to attract your target market is actually critical. If you want to make it easy for your potential clients to find you, if you want your marketing spend to go down to zero, okay? And if you're not sure what keywords or key phrases are, then, well, we've got work to do then. Buckle up. Because keywords are merely the words that search engines look for to determine what content is on your site. All right. So the internet is basically created by content, communities, and conversations. And then we've got algorithms that read all that stuff that's on the internet. Trust me, they do. Even if we think the internet is vast, Google up until now has only managed to index 13% of the available information on the internet. I'm supposing all the other stuff is in the dark web, but hey, who am I to say what is on the internet? So you want to make sure that while Google is, patrolling the internet to find information so they can save face, remember their lie, you want to make sure that your website can be found by utilizing the keywords or keyword phrases that your potential customers might be asking Google, questions about. Okay, so these are merely the words that search engines look for to determine what sort of internet content and context is derived off of your site. So it's important to use these keywords on maybe your page titles, your meta descriptions, for each page that you post on Google, and Google will just read those instructions as to what your page does, who you are, and what it is that you represent in the grand scheme of things. All right. So as well as use keywords in your headers, H1s, your H2s, and your images. So all images that are on your website, you've got an opportunity, if you're using WordPress, to actually, give the descriptions at the back and also alt tags at the back there, to tell the robots what is on the picture and what it depicts. So you can actually use keywords in those sections. So you've got so many opportunities for you to inform Google or other search engines what your website is about and what it's not about, so that it can actually be delivered when somebody asks for the kind of thing that you do. So the onus is on you to inform Google what it is that you do and that you're open for business. That way you can now also be ranked among other people that are doing the same thing in your industry. So you might be wondering, how do you then choose the right keywords, for your target market, and how does that work? Well, first of all, we make keyword research easy and fast. Like I keep referring to our keyword tool. You can find it on livelongdigital.com.au, free keyword tool, and you will be able to find get the suggestions that are backed by reliable keyword volume. All right, so it can take a bit of time for you to research the most effective keywords for your business or niche. As long as you're in business, the way people describe the services that you're providing might vary, might differ depending on location. So you really need to be amongst the conversations that people are making online, and then you would get snippets of how they would then use that information to go to Google and find the work that you are doing. And when it's done well, it's really worth the effort, because now you are in the right frame of mind that your customer is when they're actually searching for the services that you're providing. So you might be asking, what steps then should I take to choose the right keywords for my target market? Well, firstly, I'd recommend choosing the primary keywords that best describe what it is that you do or what you call yourself. Okay, you might be a coach, a consultant, and offering consulting, training, information, expertise, paid speaking, things of that nature. What is it that you do, and who cares to know about it? Those can be keywords that people are actually looking for. So maybe somebody's an accountant, then your customers will be looking for tax services for lawyers, tech services for whatever their niche is. Okay, sometimes those are also called head keywords. They're made up of one or two keywords. Usually these are not easy to rank for. You know why? Every SEO company is targeting these ones because they're usually the sort of low hanging fruit that consultants start looking for. Right, so maybe you could be a life coach, a web designer, or marketing consultant, or maybe you're a service-based business such as maybe a wedding photographer or travel manager. I actually recommend choosing primary keywords that describe your services and using them in relevant places on your website page. Okay, so you have up to 60 or 70 characters, including spaces, on your page title. However, be sure to use your keywords as close to the beginning of your title as possible. That way, when the robots come to read what content and context is on your website, the first thing they sort of pick up on is those keywords that then reflect what it is that you do and who you do it for. But before you finalize on your primary keywords, it's essential to conduct some sort of research on both maybe the search volume and competitiveness. You want to find out, do your competitors actually spend time trying to rank for these keywords? Because usually in marketing, where there's not a lot of people searching for those keywords, it might not be a lucrative endeavor. So why invent mediocrity when you can actually copy genius? This is the reason why when you jump onto our free keyword tool, you'll be able to find out exactly what people are searching and the amount of people that are actually searching for those keywords that you want to rank for. But what does that mean? I mean, it means you need to find out how often those keywords are actually entered by real human beings into Google, not speculative, real people that had an intention to either buy or to go somewhere or get information that is revolving around those sort of keyword. And you want to find out as well how much competition is there online from other websites also trying to rank for this sort of keyword, because where there's no honey, you wouldn't find any flies on there. Okay, so that was just a an analogy that I just pulled out of the wazoo, but I guess you will get what I mean there. And there's a lot of tools available, both simple and complex, that you can actually find for this information. The one that we keep referring to is our free keyword tool from Live Long Digital that you can actually use to find the right keywords to optimize your content. Okay, there are other tools which I'm not going to mention on here because I'm not getting paid for it, but once you're set up with these tools, you can actually start to notice some information that appears either on the search bar, on who else is your competitors, things of that nature. Okay, and as you can start to recognize certain keywords, those that rank the most for those keywords are usually the competitors that keep showing up, and now you start knowing exactly what sort of range of work needs to be done in order for you to actually start competing with them. Okay, so what you're looking for are keywords that have a high search volume but a low cost per click and low competition. You don't want to be spending far too much money trying to compete for keywords that cost a lot if you were to pay ads for them. Okay, so there's a lot of information on the internet, and it can be a lot challenging to find high volume keywords that have maybe low competition. But also, it's easy to lose hours of your time researching online trying to find them. So I recommend that you don't get drawn into maybe searching for the perfect keywords. All right, just focus on being meaningful with selecting maybe the keywords that have some sort of traffic each month. All right, so if a keyword has about 300 searches each month, that is actually a really good keyword, because if you can just get 10% off at that traffic, that's like 30 or so clicks, and then if 10% of that actually converts, that's three sales that you could have made from that one particular keyword. So you get the drift of how it actually works, right? Okay, so you want to use unique keywords for each page or post on your website, and don't duplicate any keywords across pages. It used to be lucrative, but they call that keyword stuffing. All right, and that's a big no around the Google circles, and that's what we call black hat strategies. So you want to ensure that your pages aren't competing against each other and that they're actually ranking for as many keywords as possible. You should realize this. Each page that you put out there in the cyberspace is like a 24/7 sales representative of yours, okay? Because as long as somebody has an idea what they might be looking for, and if your page ranks for that particular idea, that page is speaking on your behalf when you're not there at whatever time that person has demanded that information. All right, so you want to, one of the things about SEO is to really be a content provider. So if you've got 5 different services, at the minimum, you should have 5 pages, not just one service page that depicts all your 5 services, but one page for each service. That way you have enough content, right? And ample keywords that are really talking to the expertise that you have around providing that service. And once Google sees that, guess what? You help them save face, like I've said earlier on. And like I want you to start thinking in terms of what SEO really is. SEO is simply educating others. Okay, so what better a chance would you have for you to actually educate your audience about what it is that you do and who you do it for and how you actually do it, by having a dedicated page for the service that you want people to reach out to you for. So you want to use unique pages and unique keywords in that particular page, so that you literally have representatives that are out there 24/7 selling your products. All right, so for your website about us page, it's likely maybe that your name or your business name is most relevant keyword that you want to use. If you have made a name for yourself, you want to make sure that your about us page is the one that then shows up when people type in your name. Just like if you type in Prosper Tarovinga, I think our about us page is ranking number 2, if not number 1 at the current moment, because I think number 1 is the Instagram profile, which I couldn't get rid of. And that's the reason why I also don't have social media profiles, because I want to control the narrative of how people see my name out there in the cyberspace. All right, so like I was mentioning earlier, for services, you want to provide a sort of work with me page that then explains to people how they can get started with you. And you want to create a separate page for each service category, because separate pages, like I said, are relevant because you can now use more keywords to cover all your service descriptions and names without just having a whole bunch of keywords on one particular page. And these keywords may be a little longer, or 2 to 3 words, and are also called body keywords or long tail keywords. So, for example, if you're a photographer, you may use keywords such as wedding photography, baby photography, event photography, headshot photography, corporate photography, LinkedIn headshot, whatever it is that you're doing for your clients. But by expanding on one single keyword of photography, you increase the chances of being indexed for multiple types of services. And it will actually help your potential clients find you, because if somebody's looking for a baby photographer, maybe very seldom would they also be looking for corporate photography. All right. So you just want to expand your service offering throughout the internet, and you can actually be indexed based on the keywords that you are providing to your to the search engines there. So depending on whether you're a local business, it can actually be useful to add your location in the title, say maybe on your contact us page. Consider how you may also be able to incorporate your region, your town, your suburb, your continent, things of that nature, because some clients want to talk and deal with somebody who's local, who understands the language, etc., etc. So you want to use keywords to be able to explain that and to actually capitalize on the fact of your being locally based, which becomes the advantage that not a lot of people have, because the internet has now created such a global village. All right. So for you to have real local sort of feel, you want to set up Google My Business page to get featured in the map pack on the Google search results. And don't worry if you work from your home, you don't get people to know, and you don't want people to sort of know where you live. Let me tell you something, man. I've got my address on the website there, and it just creates trust. You know what I mean? Yes, you don't want to appear to be something you're not. Yes, if you're working from home, you could just put your street address or something like that, but for you to have a proper big Google My Business sort of location stack, Google needs to send you a postcard so they can verify the address. Okay, so you can select an option to hide your specific home address and list it only in the suburb or the town, and you can get away with that. So when you're writing blog posts, I take a slightly sort of different approach to choosing the right keywords for my target market as well, because you can write blog posts that are very particular to the niche and the place and the people that you're reaching out to, because people will never listen to marketing that is not directed at them. So you want to find out if your health, your wealth, or relationship works perfectly at a global level or at a local level, then you want to make sure that you capitalize on using the right keywords for your websites, okay, and your web pages. And it's all about selecting either shorter generic keywords with high search volumes, or if you really want to utilize the essence of what the internet has created for us, which is the long tail, you want to also use blog posts that contain descriptive words that your customers actually use when they're searching for the services and the things that you do. So for blog posts, it's important to think about longer keyword phrases. That way, people, when they're searching, sometimes they ask long-winded questions. So if you are capitalizing on that way that people actually ask questions, the way humans actually speak, because people speak in stories. So half of the time, your customers think Google is a real place where somebody's sitting there and looking at what they're asking. So they want to be formal. They really want to appear as if they're smart in their search, whereas they're just talking to a robot. But hey, Google, like we mentioned earlier on, got away with that lie, and we're exposing it today because we're internet explorers. Did we manage to expose Google? Yeah, we did. We're taking down the Goliaths. We're just the David in this industry. Absolutely. So try and use long tail keywords, that are made up of 3 or more words or phrases. And if I use a keyword example above, say maybe, what did I talk about earlier? Wedding photography, right? So a long tail keyword will be best wedding photography locations, Melbourne. All right. Long tail keywords have maybe a lower search volume, than the shorter generic ones. However, because the keyword or phrase becomes more specific, the longer it gets, the content actually starts to become relevant. So you can actually take advantage for going the longer mile using long tail keywords going the extra mile instead of just using the shorter keywords, that your target audience will be more likely to actually click through something that they took a long time trying to explain to Google, right? So for somebody to take the time to read a blog, it's likely they're actually researching on a topic in more detail. So like we always repeat and say, people are coming to the internet to get information. So if you are the person that's providing them with that information, they get to know you, like you, and trust you. And people really, really love doing business with those that they know, like, and trust. So in a bit of a summary, and before you jump on to take our free keyword tool, it's there, don't worry. I just want you to know that choosing the right keywords for your target market, actually it involves a few things. First, you got to identify the primary or maybe the head keywords that actually describe your niche and what it is that you do. And then you want to build on these keywords to create body and long tail keywords that are relevant to your target audience. And you want to also research your client pain points to identify additional long tail keywords. How do they explain and actually express their pain? Because if you can articulate somebody's pain in the words that they actually understand, then guess what? They assume that you've got the solution. All right, so you want to test, find the right keywords, and then you can optimize your content. And you can actually do it even for blogs that have already been written. Okay, so as I said earlier on, it could be quite easy to get caught up in trying to look for the perfect keywords, but be mindful that you're not spending too much time in research, because you now get paralysis analysis. All right, so jump on right now. I'm giving you free reign with the email that came with this podcast or the show notes. There's a link to the free keyword tool. I advise that you go in there, try it out. It is the perfect tool for your business, that is looking to rapidly increase your visibility on the web. In just a few clicks, you can actually explore new and relevant keywords and expand your search engine optimization efforts so you can better target your Google ad campaigns. And with the tool that we're giving you for free, you get accurate and affordable keyword volume, cost per click data, and you can find the right keywords to actually optimize your content. It's called the Live Long Keyword Explorer. All right, it makes the whole process simple and fast. You want to try it today and get ahead of the competition. This is Prosper, and I'm reporting for Judy. If you need me to help you with a keyword finder tool or with anything to do with your SEO, I'll be your guy. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au